Well, the Asian markets have opened higher this morning. The Hong Kong market is up almost about 400 odd points, and the other markets too. Japan is up 400 points as well, so looking pretty good, the screen over there. But our research team is here to give you the list of top 10 stocks as we head into trade this morning. Anuj, what would you be looking at today?
So, Sonia, one large cap, one mid cap. The large cap stock that I'm watching out for is Axis Bank, because if you see yesterday, it was the largest contributor to the Bank Nifty rally, except towards the end when Kotak took over that mantle. But through the day, that was the one which had the highest rally. And on a day when you saw large FIs selling in a lot of bigger names, this was one stock where you actually saw delivery-based buying. So that is quite interesting for me to see. Perhaps that could get its mojo back. Sun TV, on the other hand, clearly there's something wrong with the stock, because it's just falling consistently, from its highs of 1050. It's one-way journey for the stock, and even in a strong market, it was down and hit a fresh 52-week low yesterday, backed by delivery selling. So that's one stock which is continuously getting derated.
Yeah, I guess that lower subscription numbers is being noticed by more and more people. Well, I think important news coming in on Dr. Reddy's, Ekta.
Yes, absolutely, Lata. Well, with regards to Suboxone, that big anti-drug addiction drug that they had won a court case for in November, the US court has basically told them that Dr. Reddy's cannot sell the generic version of Suboxone in the US up till the 20th of December. That is because they are giving the current patent holder of this particular drug, the innovator of the drug, Indivior, a chance to basically appeal against the November 20th order, which basically ruled in favor of Dr. Reddy's. So remember, Street was anticipating incremental sales for 4 months for Dr. Reddy's from this particular drug in FY19. So that estimate will now stand reduced, and hence there's a little bit of uncertainty. The stock should be in the red.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Well, on the back of the new governor appointment, there is a view that the PSU banks could rally as the governor might relax the PCA norms. But that is a simplistic assumption, right, Lata? Because the banks have already moved over the last few days.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if they did a little more, because that expectation will be there. And all this move was only because Governor Urjit Patel is out. Now you know who is the new man, and there will be an expectation that he'll be more sympathetic to the government view. So, today, now the backdrop from Asia has become very positive with, as you read out, Hong Kong and Nikkei very on a 2% rally. So we will have that tailwind with us, and you will latch on to some stocks which offer these kind of policy opportunities. My sense is that NBFCs, PSU banks like Oriental Bank of Commerce and Bank of India, which are in the PCA list with single-digit net NPAs, and therefore likely candidates. Anuj has pointed out previously also to the Oriental Bank rally. And again, Kotak and Yes Bank. Kotak more because you may think that now December 31st is a non-event. So anyway, he has gone to court. And maybe they will be less rigorous in their application of the current rules. All this is hope. Yes Bank, I think today there is a board meeting. So actually it's the board meeting to appoint the chairman. There is no need that you will get the MD's appointment. But still the market looks very cheerful on that front. And yesterday you saw that rally in Yes Bank. We should watch out and see whether they will build on it.
Okay, yes, that's something to watch out for. Yesterday we saw the big rally in Yes Bank stock. Anisha, there are some other stocks in news as well?
Well, yes, Anuj. I'll start with Persistent Systems, because they had the analyst meet yesterday, wherein the management did acknowledge the fact that the growth has been slower than peers, but it is expected to pick up. They also said that they're looking to restructure the leadership roles as per the recommendation of SEBI, and they also proposed that there might be a buyback opportunity at the end of Q3. The brokerages have given a thumbs up, so expect a green tick on that. Moving on to Reliance, wherein as far as the Jio business of the company is concerned, they're looking to split the tower as well as the fiber business into two separate subsidiaries. They say this will help at a later date perhaps and give them the flexibility to lease out the assets, so that should be taken positively as well. Moving on to PNC Infra, wherein they have got a financial closure for a 1200 crore project in Karnataka. And lastly, keep an eye out on Titan, because Crystal has revised the outlook from stable to positive and has reaffirmed the ratings, so maybe a bit of sentiment positive. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Anisha. Well, here's a quick recap then of our top stocks in focus. Stocks with some positive news flow this morning: Axis Bank, Persistent Systems, Reliance Industries, Titan, PNC Infra, Indiabulls Housing, DHFL, OBC, Bank of India, Kotak Mahindra Bank and Yes Bank, while stocks with negative news flow: Sun TV and Dr. Reddy's.
Okay, Jeff Lewis is back with us now. Jeff, good morning. So the obvious question this morning is, from here up until say March or April of 2019, do you think India might underperform as a market and foreign investors might have underweight positions?
I don't think one should read too much into these state elections. It's a wake-up call, yes. There were certain issues ahead of those. I think what foreign investors will be looking for is to see that Mr. Modi does not switch back to policies of subsidies and handing out aid ahead of the election on a big scale, but tries to stick to some of his longer-term reforms. So I think investors will be looking very carefully. The economic story is still intact. I think as long as oil prices stay in a reasonable range, you're going to see decent growth in the economy. I think investors will be looking to see how the relationship between the RBI and the government evolves, and they'll certainly be looking for the government not to be trying to direct the RBI to ease policy prematurely ahead of the election. That would be a very big mistake, I think. But I think they'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So certainly very interesting results yesterday.
Okay. Well, good morning, Jeff. Any thoughts at all on one governor going away in a huff and another one being appointed who was once the member of the government? Non-event?
Well, I think it's in a bigger scale of things, it probably is a non-event, but there was clearly a big clash between Mr. Patel and the government, and I think what we need to see now is that the RBI is not a formally independent central bank, but it has been a credible central bank. Some Western strategists have regarded it as the most credible central bank in Asia. So I think the government needs to be aware of that and needs to tread lightly in the coming months.
Okay, so from a foreign investor standpoint, what would you prefer to see? Because over the next few months, it's going to be a trade-off between a fiscal policy and growth in the run-up to the elections. What would be a likely outcome?
Well, I think foreign investors will be expecting to see some easing on the fiscal side. That tends to be normal ahead of general elections. And I think they will be forgiving of a reasonable amount of slippage. It looks as if the state deficit, for example, might be those targets are too ambitious. So we will see some fiscal deficit. I think that would be more acceptable than easing of monetary policy at this stage, which would lead to an even weaker currency outcome. I think that would be a warning sign to foreign investors to think twice about increasing their exposure to India.
This point in time, Jeff, what would you do? We've had a fairly pedestrian year, 2018, from an Indian investor standpoint. What would the start of 2019 look like, and what would your own call be?
Well, I think short term, we're not expecting any melt-up in markets. We're not expecting any year-end rally. We think there's still a lot of uncertainty. But we are at valuation levels now which look attractive for the emerging markets overall. In India, seeing valuations come back, but there's still a pretty wide premium to other Asian markets. So I think the long-term story is intact, but I don't think we see an early resumption of foreign inflows on a big scale, but I think most of the selling has probably been done at this point.
Okay. How are you looking at the risk atmosphere itself? We have seen now 2 days of rally. You think we are in for a Santa Claus rally?
I think we're seeing a little bit of a recovery from oversold levels. I don't think the catalysts are there by any means for a strong Santa Claus rally, as it were.
All right. Okay. Jeff Lewis, always a pleasure having you with us. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's see. That's one opinion on both the state polls and the new governor.
Okay.
But here's a very interesting news item that we as journalists are proud to present. The Time magazine's Person of the Year has been announced. Slain Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, along with late Philippine journalist Maria Ressa, Reuters reporters Walon and Kwaso U, I hope I've pronounced it correctly, currently imprisoned in Myanmar, and the staff of Capital Gazette in Annapolis, Maryland, including 5 members killed in a June shooting, have made it to the top slot. Important, there are 4 journalists.